I go for it.
Hello. I have some unfortunate news for everybody. My name is DeMarco, and more sad news is this is my brother Steven. I know. This is not the news you guys wanted to hear, but it's the news you have to hear.
We had to tell somebody.
Welcome to our show, Webheads, the Marvel Comics event podcast. And let's get started.
Let's do it. Oh, man. So what have you been up to?
I have been thinking of working on my resume to get a new job
Okay.
because everybody's leaving mine.
That's pretty much everybody's job.
I went to go see The Eternals on Friday. Thought it was a very good movie. We're not going to get into spoiler territory or anything.
Are we?
Should we?
The movie came out about a month ago.
Okay,
Is
we'll
that safe?
we'll get into spoilers, and then if you don't want to hear spoilers, if you haven't heard the movie or watched the movie yet, jump ahead
Give us
I
at
don't
least
know.
like 5 minutes.
yeah, jump ahead 5 minutes, and then
Yeah.
I'll jump into the story from there. Yeah, I was pleasantly surprised with the fact that they went with like the emergence type of celestials where planet Earth is just a giant egg
Yeah.
for a celestial. Because that's just like, who would have thought that they would have just the
I don't
stake?
know.
Those are huge stakes right there.
Yeah.
And for them to just out the gate just be like, yeah, Earth is not what we thought it was.
I didn't expect Salma Hayek's character to
Yeah.
die that quickly.
I was kind of confused. I'm like, so many of the trailers show her
Yeah,
like
that's
dying.
why I was like, I thought it was like a fake.
Yeah, like she's
they
gonna
were
come back or
yeah.
something.
Because we were saying before, like in the Eternals episode, like how they can die and then just come
Yeah.
back.
That's why I was kind of like, why are they so upset about people dying? Like,
Yeah.
can't they just come back?
And I was like, okay, maybe this is the first time they've died in
Yeah.
7,000 years, but like they're coming back, so what's the big deal? And then she just never came back. I was like, we're kind of deep into the movie here.
Yeah, I was like, is she gonna show up at the end and be like the hero to save everybody or something?
Yeah, and she just never came back.
Yeah.
It didn't feel like it was too long,
Yeah. And
at least to me.
it didn't feel like it was too long. There were parts where I was just like, okay, I don't need to see Cersei and Icarus like we know they love each other, and I feel like there was a few times when it was just like, we don't need to spend more time with them confessing their love or just being like that emotional. But overall, I like that she was kind of like the main focus, and that they gave main focus to a whole team
Yeah,
while still kind of having her be like our point of view of everything. Actually, a few people have told me that they found our episode helpful.
yeah. I watched the movie and I was like, I think we did a good job.
Yeah.
I think as soon as I finished the movie, and then as soon as I was over, I was like, I think that was a good episode for us.
Yeah, Danny told me it helped her kind of just know who the characters were before going in, and
Yeah.
Kyle actually said that he listened to it and that he found it, or that at least prepared him. He hadn't seen it at that point, but
Yeah.
he was prepared to go in and see it.
We did something good.
Yeah,
Finally.
Overall, yeah, I liked the stakes that they took. I did think that there was a lot of flashbacks, but I felt like the flashbacks could be handled better because I did think that they did give us good story points and like backstory to some of the characters. But I didn't think that like everybody needed a flashback, you know?
It was cool. There was a few characters I wish we would have just spent more time on. I think mainly Druig.
Yeah, I kind of liked him just because he was like kind of like the bad boy, but just kind of like
Yeah.
he doesn't really care what's going on.
It confirmed his bad boy status for me at the end when he had that leather
Yeah.
jacket on.
I was like, leather jacket in his face. Damn.
I was like, oh yeah, he's hopping on a spaceship with this thing. And shoot, what was her name?
Makari.
Yeah, Makari.
Yeah, I liked her.
Yeah.
I like that she had super speed and that she can hold herself up against Icarus. That final
Oh
fight.
yeah, she was
Yeah.
going at him, and he was just having trouble.
Yeah, I wish they would have gave her more screen time because I liked how she would do that thing where she would just like run super fast, but from like different directions, and then hit him with like a sonic boom at the end. I like that.
Yeah, she was. I really liked her. I like that sometimes. I've seen this in a few other movies, a few other Marvel movies, but like I like that Marvel doesn't bring like these heavy hitter actors in for like to be the main thing in the story. So I really like the fact that like Angelina Jolie was brought in and was like she had a big part in it, but like she's not our main focus.
Yeah.
Like she doesn't come in and she's the what were they calling the like Cersei?
Oh, like
the supreme
Yeah.
whatever. Like she wasn't like the leader of the team.
Yeah.
And Salma Hayek was, but again, she didn't last long, at least movie wise. And I also thought it was funny that Marvel brings us a brand new team, and then immediately is like, cut it all to pieces.
Yeah.
Just break them up.
I like
before the end of the movie, it's like they're not even a full team at that point. It was crazy.
Yeah, I like the way it ended too. Like, I like the idea that there's in some part of the ocean somewhere there's just a giant celestial head and a hand, and like that's not something you're just gonna ignore. Like people in that universe are gonna travel to that thing and look at it and study it, and it's like,
and then now this is when white people are gonna start going. They're gonna start sailing to the celestial head and start breaking off pieces of it.
Graffitiing. Jake loves Lisa.
Start carving their names into it.
Yeah, I just thought it was a cool movie. I liked everybody except for Sprite. I know she is all these years old but doesn't age, and she's just stuck in the body. But as a kid, I just kept seeing a kid, you know?
Yeah, I think it would have been different for me had they, because when she kept complaining about not being able to like live a life like everybody else, I thought, okay, then why did you come as a kid? Because in the comics they can decide like what they look like. I know you don't want to die and start all over again, but if you can start all over again and just be whatever you choose to be, then do it. It doesn't seem like that's an option in the movies.
Yeah.
So it is what it is, but well, now she's not an Eternal anymore anyways.
Yeah, so that's cool. We don't have to...
Good luck, kid.
We don't have to really see her.
We don't need this anymore.
I kind of thought, too, it was weird, the final fight when Kingo just, like, disappeared.
Yeah,
I got that he didn't want to stay with them and, you know, do what they were doing, but, like, at least come back and, like...
Yeah, I understand the neutral stance.
Yeah.
And not wanting to take a side against, like, he wanted, or he believed in what Icarus was saying.
Yeah.
But didn't want to fight against his friend, so I get that. You've also been a really big part of this whole situation.
Yeah.
Like, the whole thing.
Like, you just get to this point, and then you're just like, yeah, no.
Yeah. When they originally went to go pick him up, he went with them on the premise that they needed to save the world, didn't they?
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden at the end, he's just like, I wanted to save everybody, but I don't want to fight for it.
Well, like, yeah, because his idea was like, yeah, we're going to save the planet. But then he found out if we save the planet, then that's billions of other people that may not even come into existence. Mm-hmm. So I guess it's almost like he didn't want to play God.
Yeah, I get that.
Like Icarus, like the other team, well, the main team, yeah, they kind of were playing God in a way. They're stopping a God from playing God.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's rough. It's kind of a...
It's a gray area, I guess. Yeah. But I like that at the end, too, when... Is Aramesh?
Arishem?
Mm-hmm. I like how the scale that they went to.
Yeah.
I liked how, like, when Ajak, when they first showed her talking to him, like, it's literally... You barely see anything of him. It's just, like, the eyes...
And I was at first when they first like had it zoomed out and like all you saw was like just like a piece of his hand.
Yeah.
I was like, where is she at?
Yeah.
And I like that even though she's like the size of like a fly to him, like he still has his hand out like he's like he's holding her. Like I get it, but she's floating in space. You don't have to do that.
Yeah, I like the scale that they went with them. And I like that they actually did that. Like they could have, I doubt they would have, but they could have gone the Galactus route from the Fantastic Four movies where he's just like a cloud, or like they just show like shadows or something, you know? But they went huge scale. I like that he took them at the end and it's just like, yeah, I'm going to judge them now.
Yeah.
But it like the implications now are just crazy. Because you got now the Earth is going to be judged by Celestials at some point. You have the impending kind of idea that Galactus is out there or that may be coming.
Yeah.
You got Kang doing his thing. Like, who's the big bad? What's going to happen? Like, they're just there's big bads everywhere now. It's not like it's just all leading up to a Thanos type of thing.
Like in the first 3 phases, who were really like the big bads? That Loki was kind of up there, and then they handled that pretty quickly.
Yeah.
And then after him, it was
just Thanos, really. I mean,
it's a U.S. government.
Yeah. The U.S. government themselves.
And then, Thanos.
Yeah.
But yeah, now with Kang, like you said, mostly or possibly Galactus.
I feel like
even the Celestials are.
Go ahead.
Like, no, even the Celestials are a big deal. Like, what are like?
Yeah.
Like, there's a frozen one sitting in the ocean now, and yeah, they said he's dead, but we also don't know completely. We've never seen these things really.
I think Galactus will come in as more of like the predator to the Celestials, because the whole thing in the movie was like predators versus prey, like you know. So the Celestials are thinking they're on top. Galactus comes in and he's destroying planets, so he's the one who's gonna eat these eggs, you know. So I feel like that's where he comes in.
It's Phase 4 is gonna be crazy, and we're not. That's the crazy part too, is that we're not even close to like a real team up, like an Avengers type of thing.
Yeah,
we still got at least 3 or 4 years.
Just real quick, let's jump into the post-credit scenes.
Ooh, boy.
So that first one.
That boy, Harry Styles. I'll give him his credit. He looks just like him.
Yeah.
He looks just like Euros. It was crazy.
I was excited to hear like the audience reactions, because I was like, first Pip jumps in. And I was like, holy shit, Pip. Yeah. And then Danny like looks at me. She's like, who's that? And I was like, just watch. And I had accidentally spoiled the Harry Styles being in it last week, because I was just going through the Wikipedia, and I went down to the cast list, and at the very bottom it was like, and Harry Styles is. I was like, damn, okay. So he comes in, and I was like, okay. I thought he was just going to be like, hey, and then like it cuts. Yeah. But I'm glad they gave him some lines, and he got to like say some stuff. And,
I heard rumors of him being in it a few weeks ago, and I was like, okay, but I didn't see anything about who he might be.
Yeah,
I just Harry Styles is supposed to be in the Eternals. I was like, okay, and I completely forgot about it. And then Pip came out. I was like, who is? This wasn't just an end credit scene for Pip.
Yeah.
so who's coming? Who's coming out here? And then like that with how they came in, like what is the word I'm looking for? Like that little glimmer of light that came in at first. Before Pip came out, it had like a red glimmer or something. Yeah,
it was like a rainbow kind of.
So I freaked out and I was like, "Is this Wanda coming?" And then Pip pops out. So I was like, "Okay, so it's not Wanda." And then that shadow starts coming in the second person. I was like, "Who the fuck is this?" I was like, "Oh!" And the only part that pissed me off was that nobody in the theater reacted.
Yeah,
except for 2 girls behind me. And it was only because it was Harry Styles.
Yeah, I think that's what mainly people were like, oh my God, Harry Styles. I was like, You guys don't get it. Like when he said brother of Thanos, I was like, that should be enough for people to like freak out about. Like,
Yeah.
oh, he has a brother that looks like
He
that,
has like his brother looks this good. What do you mean?
and he can sing.
Yeah. And when we left, I was like, "So did you understand any of Cesario?" I was like, "So did you? Do you need me to explain any of those end credit scenes?" And she was like, "Why does his brother look like that?" She's like, "Why isn't he purple?" And then I went through and explained the whole thing about how in the comics Thanos has the deviant gene,
Yeah,
so that's why he's like that. I'm excited.
I'm excited to see where that goes. And
There's so many. I'm these movies make me so happy now because like the first three phases were all characters that pretty much everybody knows, right?
to some degree, yeah.
Yeah, like they brought in some ones that like maybe people hadn't read about. Maybe like not too many people knew Scarlet Witch and Ultron and stuff like that. But like now we're like really like now they have to bring people out.
Yeah.
Like yeah, we're gonna get the X-Men eventually, Fantastic Four. So like we know those two, but like Eros in the movies.
Yeah.
So now we're getting like a live action Eros. We're getting a live action Adam Warlock.
Yeah, these are characters that like
Pip.
yeah, like even me like a few years ago wouldn't even been able to tell you like who these characters were. If you were to tell me that these characters were going to be in a movie, like why? There's so many other characters we can use. But now I want to see who they can bring in, like what weird characters there are, like how they can connect everything, because it's like it's such a big universe of so many characters.
Phase 4 has expanded it so much.
Yeah.
Especially with the TV shows now too. Mm-hmm. It's crazy.
And it's jumping in. I'm sorry for the people who jumped 5 minutes ahead because this is way longer than 5 minutes.
Yeah.
So keep jumping. But and it's not. It's this phase is all about like different parts of the MCU too, because it's like now we're in space now. In the second post credit scene, which we'll talk about, that's more like the horror part of the MCU, and then you still have the Earthbound heroes. Everything now we're jumping in all these different places, and it's like some of them may connect, some of them may be separate stories, but that's the cool part. Like there's going to be a storyline that you can follow that you may like more than the other one. Yeah. At some point it may all connect, but you can still just follow the space, MCU or the Earthbound MCU or like the time travel MCU. Like there's all these different areas for you to jump into.
It's so well. One, we've never seen a movie universe like this ever, and it's crazy how we've just never seen anything like this. Like we're never, and I don't think we're ever gonna see another thing like this because they can literally keep going.
Yeah.
They have a million things to pull from. I don't think anybody thought superhero movies were going to be able to pull anything like this off in the first place. What, 12 years ago? 13 years ago? So for it to, like, where does it stop?
Yeah.
I don't see it stopping.
I don't see it stopping. But on to that second post-credit scene.
Who do you think? I'm pretty sure I know who the voice was.
I know who it is.
It's Blade.
Yeah.
Yeah. Blade's going to come in and whoop some ass. And that's another character I keep forgetting about.
I really hope that they give Blade the light that he needs, because so often you hear like, oh, we're going to give this character, like not even just Marvel, but any movie studio that owns a comic book character, we're going to make a movie for this character and this character and this one, and then out of the 10 that they announced, you get 5. And it's like there's so many characters, and they cast these people, and it's like they give them all this push, and then all of a sudden, nah, we're not going to do it.
Yeah.
So I really hope,
like a side character in one of the movies.
Yeah. I hope this little voice cameo is like only the first step, and I hope that in like Moon Knight that he shows up, because I heard rumors that in Moon Knight that he's showing up in there.
Yeah.
So I hope we start getting a little bit more to kind of reintroduce the character and the Blade. Like,
yeah. I have to read more on the Black Knight because I don't really know too much about him.
Yeah.
But it's
I heard it's very confusing.
I'm sure. It is most of the characters that I've just never really heard about until recently end up being very confusing.
Yeah.
Well, I'll get to it. When it gets closer, I'll get to it. I don't know if he's going to get like another 3 movies like they did all those years ago, but they got to give him something. He just can't be like another character in somebody else's movie.
Yeah.
I'm going to be pissed. Don't do that to Mahershala. That's my guy right
The
there.
Bay Zone.
The Bay Zone. Hayward Zone.
Yeah.
Shout out Mahershala.
Go watch his other stuff too.
Yeah, was he
He's
in
in-
Moonlight?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a good movie.
He's in Moonlight. He was in Luke Cage.
Oh, yeah, he was.
He was in... What was that other movie that he was in? Anyways, go to his Wikipedia.
Yeah, bring back Netflix's Luke Cage and then put him in the Blade movie and then just have him try to figure out why he looks so familiar. That's all I want to see.
You know, and just real quick, I heard a rumor that they were in Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness that they were going to have other characters from like past Marvel movies come in and like make cameos and stuff, and then they're going to have Chris Evans make a cameo as the Human Torch. But I'm like, what are the universe implications of that? Like, you look exactly like our Captain America.
Yeah, also, I don't want you guys to bring him in and... Unless they have him just flame on the whole time.
Yeah.
Then okay, but also you haven't introduced our Fantastic Four.
Yeah.
So, like, it also... Like, it doesn't make sense to bring in an alternate version of them.
Yeah.
Unless you're going to bring back Michael B. Jordan's.
But then he looks like our Killmonger. So it's like...
Oh, yeah. Yeah, never mind. Yeah, that doesn't... Yeah, don't bring any Fantastic Four stuff.
Yeah, because then I'm just going to be thinking, why in this universe does this person look like this person, but they're not the same people?
Yeah. Yeah, you can't tell me that Eric Killmonger in an alternate universe is the Human Torch.
Yeah.
By a different name.
Yeah.
Yeah, Marvel, please don't do that.
They're smart enough to not do it, so I think we're good.
Yeah, I trust Kevin Feige enough to not do it.
But yeah.
Yeah.
So if you haven't seen it already, go see Eternals. There's a lot of Marvel MCU implications that will show you where things are going, kind of, or hopefully where they're going. And then let's jump into this week's.
Right out, I'm going straight to it, right? We have a story called "They Who Wield Power."
And what issues is this one?
Don't even ask. You guys will see it. You guys can see it in the notes. So just like I mentioned in the Thanos War story when we did that a couple weeks ago, we don't sometimes realize how long these stories take in real life.
Yeah.
To pan out because we read through them in a week. So I read through them, normally we read through all this stuff. Sometimes it's an episode, maybe 2. And so you get the whole gist of the story, right? The story that I'm going through today spans over 5 years.
5 years.
5 years, and there's only like 6 issues. Does it make sense? No, it doesn't.
I'm not even trying to make sense.
Don't try to. It goes from 74 to 79. People don't get a true ending to this story until it's 1979.
I'm trying to think. Is this like... I guess the only thing I can compare it to, or not the only thing, but like just more modern thing to compare it to would be like if you were to, I don't know, like nowadays most events only last like a couple months, you know, because you have like the side issues and everything.
Yeah. So think of it more of like these people pop in kind of like the watcher should. Hey, let's influence this and then disappear.
So more like little things here and there.
Yeah. So there's a few characters that we haven't touched on before. So we've talked about the Hulk before. There's a guy named Senator Hawk.
Is he a superhero?
No, he's an actual senator. There's a guy named Clay Quartermain. I don't know if you've heard of him before.
Clay Quartermain.
Yeah, he's just like a secret agent.
Sounds like a secret agent name too.
Yeah. We got General Ross, Betty Ross's father. Betty Ross is Hulk's wife or girlfriend. And Dr. Samson.
Doc Samson.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
So Doc Samson is a psychologist, and at some point, does he have powers yet?
No.
No. Okay.
If he does, he doesn't use them here.
Okay.
And so I got a little thing that I'm going to do here. All around the world, crimes against humanity are considered especially heinous. In the Marvel Universe, the team of people that have had a hand in 45% of these crimes are simply known as they. These are their stories.
And then the music starts, and then it's just iced tea.
Get over here, man. What'd I tell you about doing that? All right, so to give everyone a little bit of context on this collective known as they are the ones who blessed do you know the orb?
No.
He has a big
the eyeball?
Yeah.
Yeah, so he has no head. It's just a giant eyeball on the human
And that's
body.
what you might think from the later stories, but he actually has a head.
Oh, this is the first one.
Yeah, this orb has the eyeball is just a helmet.
Okay.
Let me pause real quick. Zara, I'm recording something, my dear.
Hey, just popping in to say hello.
Okay, thanks. Say hi to the podcast, I guess, since you're here.
Hello.
Hello.
How are you? So I thought I would do a friendly neighborly phone call.
What's she doing?
I don't know.
How are you, Marco?
Hello.
Okay.
Mark looks cute, like a little 12-year-old boy.
It's very specific.
Yeah. Yes.
Say bye, Daddy.
Okay, bye, baby. Bye. All right. My bad. Okay, so to give everyone a little bit of context on this collective known as they were the ones who gave the orb his eyeball helmet, which I guess later turned into his actual head at one point. They convinced Dr. Stegron, a guy that worked with Dr. Connors. They convinced Dr. Stegron to use
Dino DNA.
and the lizard from Spider-Man comics, his miracle juice, that the dino DNA and that miracle juice, whatever he used to become Stegron the Dinosaur Man.
Okay. He looks like a Stegosaurus?
Yeah.
Okay.
They convinced the Lava Men to attack Earth from down below and cause earthquakes in New York, making Manhattan break away from the rest of New York. No one has ever seen them. They've come to people in like a godly way as voices, scriptures of some kinds, and mind control. They're forever hiding in the shadows until the beginning of this story.
So are they almost like they think like aliens come down and like...
Kind of like when we were talking about the Eternals, how the Deviants ended up making people believe that the devil was real because they looked like, I guess,
Demons.
demons.
Yeah.
Same thing, kind of.
Okay.
People, they send down these messages or scriptures or voices from out of nowhere, and then people think, oh, I got a calling. So when the lava men attacked Earth from down below, it's because their leader said he got a message from there.
Oh, it's almost like an Illuminati type of thing too.
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay.
So we're going to go right into it. First issue. This isn't the first issue I read. Let me just get into something real quick, okay? Online, there's tons of... Not tons. There's a few websites that had reading orders for this story. And they all said to read 5 or 6 issues of the Marvel team-up stuff leading into the main story. So I did that. None of those stories helped me with any of this. I read through 6 issues. I had like 12 pages of notes total.
Was it like little stuff that carried over? Like, oh...
The little part that I just gave you guys is all about how the orb got his helmet from them and Stegron and all that stuff. Those were the small little things that I pulled. That small little 10-second thing that I gave you guys was what I pulled from 7 issues of reading.
So, for example, did the orb just get his helmet in one issue and was like causing trouble?
We don't even see him get the orb. or the helmet. He shows up with the helmet and then says that they gave it to him
In one of those issues.
in the one issue. Yeah,
And then, so basically, it was just like, here's where this guy comes from.
yeah.
Read this issue.
Mm-hmm. And there's not even an issue to go back to see where, like, him getting it or anything like that. He just shows up with it. Thanks, they. I had read 3 issues of Spider-Man chasing Stegron around the Savage Land, only for Stegron just getting the serum to become Stegron, the dinosaur man, in the first place. That was the only part that I needed from that whole story. I'm not even joking with you. I read like 9 issues of stuff before I got to the main thing.
So in total, if you didn't read those useless issues, how many issues do you...
I think it's like 5 or 6.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm so pissed. So the first one I read, the first one that I should have read was Incredible Hulk 209. We hear from they, and they are talking to, I don't know if you know this character either, the Absorbing Man.
Yes.
They're asking him to get rid of the Hulk because they don't want the Hulk in this world at all. They want to just completely get rid of him.
And for those who don't know, the Absorbing Man can absorb any material and become that material.
Yes, which doesn't, in this story, it does not work in his favor.
It usually does.
Absorbing Man says, hey, I'll do it, but what's in it for you guys? And they say they gave the Orp his helmet, they gave Stegron the idea to become what he is, and they gave him an arc so he could take the dinosaurs from the Savage Land and go attack everywhere else. Which is... Yeah, and they
seems like a huge task. Like, go collect these dinosaurs to attack. Like, you just see him running through the jungle. Hey, over here.
Well, it's pretty much what happened. He got there.
He's trying to just wrangle 2 Triceratops.
Yeah, and then Spider-Man and Kazar were there. Because, Kazar lives there.
Yeah.
And Spider-Man showed up because S.H.I.E.L.D. asked him to go check something out down there.
Of all people.
Yeah, Spider-Man.
The friendly neighborhood Spider-Man.
Yeah, your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. Sent him to the Savage Land, of all places, by himself. And then didn't give him a way to get back.
That's S.H.I.E.L.D. for you.
Yeah, they dropped him off and then took off. Left him there. And then in the comics, he was even like, I don't know how I'm going to get back, but I'll figure it out.
Why do you take that job?
My guy, you're in the Antarctic. Like,
you're in a land full of dinosaurs and predators.
Yeah, that's surrounded by nothing but snow.
And you're there by yourself.
In your thin-ass Spider-Man costume. How do you think you're going to get out of here? How? Tell me. Yeah, so they explain, hey, we gave all these people all these things. Don't worry about why we're doing it. Like, we just helping out the world is basically how they're trying to make it seem. The Absorbing Man is like, listen, I don't really give a shit what you guys need. Just tell me where I need to go to kill the Hulk. We cut to a very happy Bruce Banner in his newly rented apartment.
Nice.
He's making breakfast, and then in walks his landlord, April Summers, dressed like an IG baddie. And she's asking for him to make her some breakfast too. And he's like, yeah, why not? I don't care.
You're my landlord. Get out of here.
Yeah.
We're not friends.
She just walked in.
She just did a Kramer and just...
Pretty much. So right now Bruce is eating his breakfast. He's getting ready to start a job search because he doesn't want to be the Hulk anymore. And because
was the Hulk being... Was that his job?
Yeah. And we've established already that these superheroes don't get paid for this stuff. So Dr. Samson was able to separate the two. So Bruce is just Bruce now. But Bruce, from what I understood, Bruce was a doctor of some sort. Mm-hmm. I don't know why he's struggling for jobs all of a sudden. It doesn't make sense. But Bruce is going around looking for jobs, and every place he goes, he's getting denied. They're like, no,
he's
no
overqualified.
No one's even saying that. They're just saying, no, we're not looking for anybody right now.
Well, maybe it's public knowledge in this that Bruce Banner is a Hulk, right?
No.
Oh, no. So they'll even know that, like...
Nobody even
I thought
knows.
that maybe they weren't hiring him. Like, we don't want This guy who caused all this destruction, like,
Nope.
working.
Not even his landlord knows. No. So April does help him out. She ends up getting him a construction job with one of her friends. And then once he gets there to talk to the manager over there, we see the absorbing man kind of lurking around
being
the
a
building.
creep at a construction site.
Yeah. Just staring at Bruce. So Bruce started. The manager's like, yeah, we need the help. Get to it. Immediately starts. And so he's doing the construction job. He's there for a few hours, and that's when the absorbing man shows up out of the shadows and is like, it's time to die. But he wants the Hulk, he wants the Hulk to fight him, not Bruce. He's like, hey, the absorbing man's talking to Bruce. He's like, hey, go get your buddy. Like, I need to handle something. And Bruce is like, I don't know what you're talking about, man. And the absorbing man just knocks the crap out of him, and he knocks him off the building. So he's now falling to his death. Before he gets to the ground, he gets pissed off again, and Dr. Simpson clearly didn't do his job correctly. And he turns back into the Hulk.
That's all it took.
Yeah. And that's not what Bruce wanted. If you couldn't tell by now, the absorbing man basically turns into whatever he touches. So if he touches stone, he's basically made of stone. So,
So when Samson separated them, it wasn't like a physical separation. Like now the Hulk is his own being, and
he was able. I'm assuming that he just kind of was able to
suppress like the Hulk.
Yeah.
So at that point, was Banner just like thinking? I don't know if you know this, but was he thinking like the Hulk is just gone? Like I don't have to worry about becoming the Hulk anymore, or
yeah, he was under the assumption that the Hulk was
just no more.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so they're fighting as they fall because Bruce starts falling. Absorbing man is like going at him. We're like, I'm going to kill him. And as they start falling
he jumps off the building.
Yeah. And so they're falling towards the ground, but the problem is the only thing that the absorbing man touches some glass on the way down. So he turns the glass, and then when they hit the ground, obviously the Hulk is okay now because he's the Hulk. The absorbing man only touched glass on his way down. So when he hits the ground, he completely shatters. And then we cut to they again, and then they say the absorbing man they thought he would have put up a bigger fight, but it is what it is. That's the end of that one.
That seems like the most realistic, like damn, we thought this guy was actually going to do some work.
Yeah.
That's kind of our fault.
Yeah. Oh, well. And that was the Incredible Hulk 209, right? We don't hear anything on this again until the Incredible Hulk 238.
Jeez.
So
that's almost 3 years. If they're doing a month issue, like an issue a month.
2.5 years, maybe something like that.
I'm not going to remember that.
No, not at all. So 238. We start with the city completely wrecked by the Hulk, and he's been sent away. We find that he's just walking through wheat fields in Canada. Shout out to all our brothers and sisters up north. You guys are kind of weird up there, but it's all right. So we cut to they're looking over the Hulk from wherever they are, finally realizing that he is the only one strong enough to enact whatever plan they have in place here. Right? So after a week, he's been walking around Canada for just a week. And he finally makes it. He's been trying to leave Canada. So he finally makes it to the U.S. And the Hulk decides that he needs to take a rest after a week, right? And he finds himself on top of Mount Rushmore. Don't ask. You won't figure it out. So he thinks that's the best place for him to rest in case anyone attacks. He'll be able to see him because he's so high up. That also doesn't work.
Okay.
So he falls asleep. And then when he falls asleep, a park ranger, sees him up there. That he calls the police. It's like he's not supposed to be there. And they've been looking for him.
Okay, I was about to say, I was like, if I see the Hulk somewhere, I'm not going to call the police. Like, I'm just going to act like I didn't see that and leave my job for the day.
Yeah. Oh, boss, I'm not feeling so well. I got to take off.
I do not want to deal with that.
And so then we cut to Secret Agent Clay Quartermain. And he's with Senator Hawk being dropped off at the Gamma base in New Mexico by the president. As Quartermain and Senator Hawk are walking off, they see General Ross being wheeled out of the base by Dr. Sampson. And the senator is like, hey, what the hell are you doing, man? Like, where are you taking General Ross? Because I guess he had some accident previously, and he's not, like of sound mind at all. And Hawk and Sampson are fighting with each other. Sampson quits, and he says, I'm taking General Ross off. And soon after that, a cadet on the base runs out to Quartermain and Hawk, and he shows them the news, and they say, hey, the Hulk's been spotted. So we got to get over to Mount Rushmore. And then we cut to...
I just looked it up because I blame it on my basic public school education, but I didn't know where the Mount Rushmore was.
Yeah.
So I looked it up. It's in South Dakota.
Yeah.
So he came from Canada.
Went all the way through North Dakota. And then made his way to South Dakota. Nobody spotted him all the way through North Dakota.
And then just decides this is a good place to...
Yeah. This man is at the very least, 10 feet tall and green. And nobody spotted him all the way through one whole state. What? Nobody saw him in Canada? He was walking for a week.
There can't be that many wheat fields in the butt crack of nowhere that people just are
on the border of South Dakota or North Dakota. Nobody saw him. And wheat doesn't even grow that tall.
Yeah, it's only like 2 feet, 3 feet, maybe 5 feet.
Yeah, the wheat's at the highest, probably like a little bit above his ankles. And nobody noticed this guy.
I think these are all just... I mean, it is Canada, so people are super nice, but they probably did what the park ranger should have did and just looked.
Yeah.
And was like, this is not the day I want to deal with this.
Yeah, so where are we? So yeah, so we cut. They spot they see the news. Hulk's been spotted. We cut to New York, and someone named Mr. Smith shows up at the Tinkerer. This Tinkerer has a store, I guess. And this Mr. Smith shows up with money looking for the ship that was made for him, called the Bug Ship. And after he pays, it's revealed that this Mr. Smith guy is somebody called the Gold Bug. And he's everything that you think that he is. He's wearing a gold suit.
It's like Batman and his Batwing. Like,
yeah.
The Bug Man is
Get the Bug Ship. And he hops right in that new golden Bug Ship. And he takes off straight for South Dakota looking for Hulk.
So, okay.
Yeah. And that was 230. That was number 238 Hulk. So now we're on Hulk 239. Little does the Hulk know, he literally has the whole army down at the bottom of Mount Rushmore waiting for him to wake up. He still hasn't woken up yet. Still sleeping.
So they're waiting for him to wake up.
Yeah.
To put up a fight.
To put up a fight against the Hulk that wrecked the city, and then you guys sent him off. I don't know why you guys think that the army...
Yeah, like, you send the army to him all the time. Like,
yeah. And also, we're 239 issues into this. You guys know what he's about. Don't act like you don't know what kind of fight he puts on. So, the captain of the troops there gets a call from, I guess they have a Hulkbuster squad. And Quartermain is basically the leader of that squad. And he's on the other line. He tells the general... we have a whole fleet of aircrafts coming to blow the Hulk to ashes, but we're not going to be there for like another half hour. So the captain sends up 2 troops to throw sleeping gas on the Hulk, hoping to just keep him sleeping the whole time. And no one notices that the Bug Ship is now directly above the Hulk. And it's pointing like some little laser at the Hulk that when he shoots it, it gives him a little bit of a prick. Just enough to wake him up. And it works. It wakes him up. And the Hulk immediately sees those troops that were going to throw sleeping gas at him and just swats them off the top of the mountain and kills them. So
I mean, not their fault for going up there. Like, they were ordered to do it, but you kind of like...
Yeah, you
knew what was going to happen.
What's going on here, guys? So... After he kills them, the Gold Bug lowers his ship a little bit, and he starts to just like instigate the Hulk. He's trying to get the Hulk to just completely wreck everything down there.
Okay.
And he tells the Hulk, they want to hurt you. I just need your help. The Hulk says, hey, I can't trust you. How do I know you're not with them? And the gold bug just kills some more troops that are coming up the island or the mountain. He's like, well, if I killed them, why would I'm helping you out doing that. So you got to trust me here. That's not logic. I've seen enough movies to know that I can kill people on my team and still kill you. So he's like, yeah, you can trust me now. So the Hulk's like, yeah, okay, whatever. So he has like a beam on his ship and he just beams him up. So now the troops, Quartermain and his troops finally showed up, but they were too late. So now they're chasing the gold bug. When they fly off, the gold bug is acting like everything is coming down around them, like the ship is crashing, whatever. He says, oh no, the ship's losing power, and he tells Hulk to grab like these, they look like reins. So he says, oh, grab the reins, and then the Hulk grabs them, I guess thinking that he's going to keep the ship up. But it ends up, as soon as he grabs them, like this power just starts flowing through him, and it traps him holding the things. Mm. So now Goldbug is quite literally using the Hulk's like actual body power to power his ship. Mm.
That's about the only thing that makes sense to it. Only makes sense because I've seen it in other like stuff.
Yeah. So yeah, it was a trap. He's stuck holding the rings now. It wasn't until I read these old Hulk comics that I realized that Lou Ferrigno actually looks like the Hulk.
What?
Like if you go back and look at Lou Ferrigno as the Hulk, and then look at these old comics, it's a spitting image. It's nuts. Like really looks like him. It's crazy. I guess Goldbug's whole thing is that he's always on the search for gold, which
like Goldmember.
Yeah. So now their ship is fully powered. He starts heading to a place called El Dorado in Colombia, which is the city of gold. Of course. Why wouldn't you head there? And then we see they finally given the name of They Who Wield Power. They decide that now is the time to step in again, as they finally realize that the Hulk is, if he's powering the ship, he clearly has enough power to do what they need to do. I hate the story so much. So one of them clicks a device, and then a random necessary components in Goldbug's ship just start to disappear, making like things that are actually making the ship run. They just click some device, and then all like random pieces of the ship just disappear. So now the ship doesn't work. And one of those pieces that falls off is one of the parts that was keeping Hulk trapped. So now he breaks loose. Now the ship is just heading straight towards the ground, but the Hulk jumps out with Goldbug in hand because he's not just going to let him die off. He wants to do it on his own. And of course, the Hulk lands on his 2 feet safely. And he's ready to break Goldbug's neck when a soft voice comes from the right side saying, Hulk, you finally made it. Hulk thinks this is another person trying to trick him. But the man says that you're our savior. We've been waiting for you. The Hulk says, he's like, how do you know that I'm the savior? The man basically says, I don't know. That's above my pay grade. I just know that it's you. And the Hulk thinks it's a trap, but he still goes on with it, but he's cautious about it. And he's just kind of just like dragging Goldbug by his foot along the ground. And that was 239. All right. Now we're at Hulk 240. Hulk finally gets into town. He was cautious at first, but now he's just like, I don't trust this. He starts swinging on everybody in town. Everybody. And he says, I don't want any of your admiration. I don't want none of your love.
It's a big word for the Hulk.
Yeah. He says, I just want to know who they is. Because when that man came out of nowhere and was like, oh, you're a savior? He was like, they told me that you're our savior.
Yeah.
And then when he said they, Goldbug was like, oh, I didn't know. Everybody knew they. And then Hulk heard Goldbug talk about they. So he's like, if Goldbug knows about they and you know about they, this is a trap. Somebody's setting me up here. He's like, I don't want any of your admiration, no love. I only want they. Just bring me to they. The old man that led them there, his name is Tulok. And he says, they will be here soon, but you should get some rest. Chill out for a little bit. So the Hulk just starts eating everything that he can find. And then finally, they who wield power finally show up, coming out of the shadows. And we get their names as well. We get the blonde-haired Prince Ray. We get some old man named Dez. And the black-haired Lan. Lan tells the Hulk, "Your power isn't shit here. We don't care about that." The Hulk starts smashing everything to prove his power, and then he's breaking everything. And then finally, he stops like right in front of old man Dez, and he just stops. Dez shows the Hulk, "Hey, we've been watching you through a crystal ball this whole time for years at this point." And to prove it, they show him someone named Jarella. You know her?
No.
It was basically a former love interest of the Hulk. She looks like She-Hulk really, but like kind of like battle warrior type of.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So Daz shows him Jarella, a former love interest who the Hulk believed was dead. Hulk starts freaking out and he tries to leave, but doesn't actually know where he is in the first place. So he's like, I can't try to find my way out of here if I don't know where the hell I am. And so when Hulk's running around, and while he's doing that, Dez keeps sending these thoughts into Hulk's head. He's like, do you even know where you are? Like, how would you even get to where you want to go in the first place if you're not sure where you are? So he's like throwing all this like doubt into his head, and Hulk just starts freaking out. He almost smashes the whole town that they're in. And that's when finally Dez is popping more things into his head. And he's like, oh, you're a failure. You're helpless. He's like, you couldn't help Jarella. And that's why she's dead.
Jeez.
He's really getting at him. So after all that, Hulk really starts like breaking down and he starts crying. And then he eventually, after he starts crying, he turns back into Bruce Banner. But Bruce Banner and the Hulk have completely separate minds. Like they don't know anything about what's going on with the other one. So Bruce comes out and he has no idea what's going on. He really doesn't know where he's at. Even more confused than the Hulk was. So Dez looks at him. He's like, get this guy the hell out of here. And then he's there for a few days in El Dorado. So first of all, they made it. Even though the plane crashed, they still made it to El Dorado. So after a few days in El Dorado as Bruce, the day comes where he can finally come face to face with they who wield power. He's taken to the temple of the sacred flame, and you can tell he's about to get set up. The sacred flame was found by the Incas many years ago. They believed it to be a gift from the gods and built a whole community around it, which is El Dorado. After a while, Prince Ray and Lan had to battle to become controller of the flame, only to have the Avengers show up and get involved. This is years ago. In their fight as well, causing the flame to go out for many years. Old Man Dez, and I keep calling him Old Man Dez, but in the comics they say Old Age Dez. So Old Man Dez was able to come in and he was able to bring back the sacred flame. But they need one more thing to bring the flame back to its full glory and to bring El Dorado back to its glory as well. And out of nowhere, Bruce is in the sanctuary or wherever they are, and an arm comes out of the flames. It grabs Bruce, and Dez lets it be known that the final thing to bring the flame back to glory was the Hulk's power. And then with this final thing being put into play, Dez, Prince Ray, and Lan will finally become invincible after all these years.
So that's what they want.
Yeah. And that was 240. So now we're on 241 of the Incredible Hulk. They plan on draining all of the gamma radiation from his body. Prince Ray wants to use the power to build an unstoppable war machine to conquer the world. Lan wants to give those conquered spiritual finance, whatever that means.
sounds like what a multi-level like marketing job is. Like, oh yeah, you'll gain tons of
Yeah, it sounds like what they try to tell you for those like Cutco places where you're just selling knives. These are the best knives you will ever touch. Watch this. And then they start cutting through paper with it. Yeah, so he wants to give everybody that they've conquered spiritual finance in their new conquered world. And old Dez just wants to oversee the whole thing. So Goldbug wakes out of his 3-day coma, not knowing what the hell is going on, but it eventually clicks that he's finally in El Dorado, the gold city, the city that he's been searching for his whole life. But he then starts to get pissed off because the whole city is made of gold. So now he's worried that the price of gold will go down. And now he won't be as rich as he thought he was going to be.
He didn't think about that before.
No, not at all. But now, so now he's pissed off that the price of the gold's going to go down because of this. And now he wants to kill the Hulk even more. Because he thinks that the Hulk made all of this happen. Yeah, what do you think that the Hulk made the city gold?
That's like someone like being like super hungry, and then so they buy hella food.
Yeah.
And they only eat like some of it and they throw the rest out. I'm like, I was hungry and I bought all this food, but now I'm not hungry anymore.
Yeah, I'm never going to Sonic again.
And they take it on someone else who had nothing to do with it. They take it on the Uber driver who drove them there.
Yo, why'd you bring me here?
I didn't get to eat all the food I bought.
I was hungry and now I'm not. What the hell did you do this for?
Now I wasted all this money on food and you're going to pay for it.
You're getting 1 star. So we cut back to Prince Ray, who explains how they use a bunch of different superheroes slowly to build the flame all of those years previously. Ray is doing everything he can to goad Hulk into a fit so they can drain more of his energy. While Lan is making adjustments to his ship, old Dez is working on something that even Lan and Ray don't know about. But it seems like it's something shady. So Bruce is getting more and more pissed off, and he starts to change, but something happens in the transformation, probably due to being locked up in the chains that he's locked up in. He doesn't fully change to the Hulk. He turns green, but he still has Bruce's thoughts, and he can hear the Hulk's thoughts at the same time. So it's like kind of Professor Hulk.
Yeah.
But not quite. So that's where we're at with that. Lan says the Hulk, you're going to stay that way until we drain your life force. So don't try to fight it. Prince Ray says, now is the moment that the flame is at its peak. And they need to go now. They need to set all of their plans into motion now. Because the peak is at the highest it's ever going to be. And Dez pulls out some glowing flask from a machine. And the flask is like powered by the flame. We see Goldbug just creeping around after finding out that he and the Hulk were just basically pawns in all of this.
Didn't they want Absorbing Man to kill Hulk, though?
They did it first, but that was, mind you, that was also 4 years ago.
Oh, yeah, that could happen in 4 years.
Yeah.
I did forget that.
Yeah. So, yeah, and now Goldbug heard all of that, so now he knows that him and the Hulk were just pawns in all of this. Out of nowhere, 2 claws shoot from the flames. One grabs Prince Ray, the other grabs Lan. Dez says, I used all of you guys to gain the power of the flame for myself. So they who wield power is officially over. Team done.
Now it's just I who wield power.
Yeah, now it's just old man Dez who wields power. So their life force is starting to quickly be drained. And they're almost skin and bones within like seconds. And then Dez pulls out the flask that he took from the control panel and adds Prince Ray's and Lan's life force to it. And then he drinks it. Yeah. And then he gains power like out of nowhere. He drinks it, he starts gaining power, and then he becomes, I don't know if you've ever heard of this guy, Tyrannus.
I think so. Let me see what he looks like.
So, yeah, old man Dez drinks all that, and he becomes Tyrannus, and Tyrannus is there to reign supreme over everything. He explains how he became Old Des in a fight with the Fantastic Four. He tried to flee in the Mole Man's ship only for it to blow up. Being shot from the ship and badly injured, the subterranean people from earlier in this episode, the Mole Man's people, like I mentioned, they placed him in a fountain of youth, which somehow healed his wounds, but actually did the reverse on the youth part and aged him pretty damn quickly. He used his crystal ball and found the flame that was created by the Deviants. So, quick shout out to the Deviants there. And he made his way to El Dorado, recruited Ray and Lan to help him, promising them whatever they wanted along the way. And next, we see Goldbug show up, and he tries to jump Tyrannus. But the flame has many safety features built into it. And as soon as he tries to jump Tyrannus, it shoots out a steel web, trapping the gold bug under it. So after being caught and having no one pay attention to him, Goldbug tosses a packet of gold that explodes over the Hulk. And it hardens and it causes the Hulk to start having trouble breathing. Because now he's just basically solid, like he's turning into solid gold. And so with this, his heart racing fast, his radiation levels are getting the levels that Tyrannus's flame it can't handle. So now his radiation levels are getting way too strong. And now the real Hulk is free, and he's ready to kill Tyrannus and just dead this whole thing.
Please do.
Yeah. That's what I thought, reading this whole thing. But the flame shoots out, and the blast is strong enough to shoot the Hulk completely through a wall. Before Hulk can get to his feet, Tyrannus raises the earth beneath himself and says for everyone in this city to bow down to him because he's the supreme ruler of Earth. And it's odd that people seek all this power and only wish to conquer Earth.
I mean,
expand your vision, buddy.
What? And I never understood what conquering Earth is. Like, you conquer Earth and what?
Yeah, like my thing is like conquer Earth, right? But that's way too many people for you to control.
Yeah, you can't.
Like, you can't be everywhere at one time. Like, okay, like where are you gonna set up your home base?
Yeah.
Where? What? Okay, cool. You do it in Europe. You do it in Paris, right? You set up your home base in Paris. Guess what? I'm in California, baby. What are you doing to me over here?
And then you have to have people who are going to be like, yeah, I do accept you as my leader.
Yeah.
And I'm going to take care of these people and make sure that they follow. Like, you can't.
No.
It's not going to work.
It doesn't work that way. I'm sorry. So, yeah. So that was 241. He wants to conquer Earth. 242, Hulk he's smashing everything in sight again. And then that's when this large silver machine just comes up out of the earth, out of nowhere. Hulk tries to just completely wreck it. He's punching it, smashing it, doing whatever he can. Not a scratch to it. Doesn't bend, doesn't break, nothing. And the silver machine was built by the Deviants as well. And it was designed to fight against the Eternals. So obviously it has to be strong. Tyrannus sets up a force field around himself at the top of the silver machine. And Hulk just jumps on top of the force field and just starts tearing it apart. I've never seen anything like that happen. Even in this is fake. I've never seen this even in a fake story. He just starts tearing apart a force field. So now him and Tyrannus are face to face. Tyrannus is shooting bullets from the silver tower at the Hulk, but one of the bullets hits the Hulk in the head. And we find out that it's actually like a brain mine. It just latches onto his forehead, and it starts taking control of his brain. But it knocks him out, like unconscious. Don't ask anything, please. I don't have the answers.
I'll just sit here silently.
Keep your questions for after, please. So now that Tyrannus has everyone's attention, he tells the people of El Dorado to pledge their allegiance to him. They all say, hell no. And he says, all right, I got you. Don't worry about it. Out of the tower comes a large metal harness that lands on his shoulders. Out comes a flame from the top of the silver machine as high as the machine itself. The flames then start to harden and turn into literal metal hands, which are just as long as the building itself. And so Goldbug is just not being paid attention to. He ends up breaking free, and he's able to take the brain mine off of the Hulk. So now the fight is back on. Tyrannus uses his large metal arms to grab the Hulk, and he just like shakes him around like a maraca or something. And the Hulk is he's tired of it. He's like, stop doing that. He breaks out of that. He ends up, because he's grabbed by this metal claw, he starts breaking the fingers off of the claw to get out of it. But the pain goes to Tyrannus.
So it's like he's breaking his actual fingers.
Yeah. And after he broke the fingers, and he ripped the whole arm off of the machine, right? So now Tyrannus has like this dead arm just laying there. Like he can't do anything with it. So the Hulk starts making his way through the rest of the tower. He's finally breaking through it, breaking it down piece by piece. And as he starts doing this, he's wrecking the whole silver tower. It's literally tearing up the insides of Tyrannus. And because it's a deviant made machine, it's thousands of years old, so it starts making earthquakes around too. So, so Hulk says, if I beat the machine, you start to die, so let's see what happens when I hit you. So Tyrannus says, no thanks. He uses the flame once more, and he turns himself into the living embodiment of the flame. He shakes the Hulk off of the silver building, but the Hulk catches himself on the side, digging his fingers into the machine, trying to tear it apart, struggling with every fiber of his being to tear it open, and he finally gets inside to the machine. And then out of nowhere, we see a loud boom. So Tyrannus the Flame, just all you see is a big scream across the panel. And you would think we were done.
Fucking hate you.
243.
Oh my god.
This part's a lot shorter though. So the Hulk with Goldbug in hand are flying towards the ground after that big loud explosion. But we see Tyrannus isn't done yet. Hulk is sick and tired of this shit, just the same way we are at this point. So he keeps tearing apart the machine, knowing that it's going to hurt Tyrannus. Tyrannus shoots a flame at him, but the Hulk doesn't stop. He rips one last panel, and the whole thing blows up. Full flame Tyrannus gets shot through space, with the flame slowly dying out as he goes further. And the only thing that ever sees him out in space slowly dying is a celestial named Gammonon. Back in El Dorado, Hulk turns his sights on the Goldbug, beats the crap out of him. But because the whole city is still unstable, their fighting causes them to be put into some protective bubble. And I told you, none of this makes sense. After a few more minutes of them fighting, they somehow get transported to the sewers of New York.
Like magically teleported, or they just end up in
whatever that protective bubble was. They're fighting, and then in the middle of the fight, they're transported to the sewers of New York. Yeah. And Goldbug tries to run off. He's like, I don't understand what the hell's going on, but I'm going to try to get the hell out of here. And once he makes his way out of the manhole at the top of the sewer, and as soon as he's there, he runs into, or as soon as he gets out, he runs into Luke Cage in his huge pecs. and Iron Fist is there as well. And they haul him off for previous crimes.
The Hulk?
No.
Okay.
Goldbug.
Okay.
Yeah. And the Hulk just breaks out of the sewer because he's obviously not fitting through the manhole. And then he decides that the country life is more of his vibe and not the city, so he just takes off.
He really liked that wheat.
He's like the way the wheat blew against his ankles. And that was it.
That was stupid.
Yeah, it was.
I don't know if it's these earlier issues. I think it's what I know now versus what they were before. But like the Hulk is just so boring in these ones.
Yeah.
He just seems like he's not really like, he obviously puts in the work for the sake of the story, but there's no real It's just his strength. You know, it's not like it's like he's going like super angry or anything like, or like World War Hulk or anything like that. It's just like, this is the Hulk. He's fighting this guy.
Yeah.
What kind of crazy things have we come up to where Hulk still wins and this guy is trying everything that he has? Like, it's still kind of silly,
Yeah. This,
for lack of a better word.
I'm going to be honest, I don't have much to say about this. I'm going to go straight into the ratings, and I'm giving this a 1. I'm going to give this 1 webhead, and that's it. I don't have any,
Yeah.
I have nothing to say about it.
I was looking at the thing you sent me about like when you were asking which story I wanted to read.
Yeah.
And I was looking at the issues that said this one. And I saw X-Men in there.
Yeah, please read through the list of
So this is what we do every couple of weeks. He'll send me a list of the books that we can read, and he'll give me the choice of what I will read. So he sent me this screenshot. I think it's from Wikipedia. And so for the 1970s in this category, they Who Wield Power is the story that you read. It ranges from 1974 to 1979, and the issues involved are Marvel Team Up number 15, 19, 20, 26, and 28, the X-Men number 19, and the Incredible Hulk number 209, 238 through 243.
yeah.
You only talked about the Incredible Hulk.
Yes, because the Marvel team-ups, the first 2 only showed me the orb coming to wreck Ghost Rider and Spider-Man. It showed me the Stegron story, the Mole Men attacking Earth, Manhattan being separated from the rest of New York and floating away. And then the X-Men story had literally nothing to do with anything at all. It was never mentioned again. They aren't even mentioned in it. They Who Wield Power aren't even mentioned in the, like, one of the, like, not even at all in that story. Not even one piece. If I could give this whole thing a 0, I would. That was
And this took 5 years to finish.
5 years, from 74 to 79. You have got to be kidding me. I read, what was that, like 12 issues or something?
Yeah.
Only for 7 of them to not have anything to do with this story, really? Like that one little 10, 15 seconds that I gave you guys in the beginning of this. If you guys could have just put that at the beginning of that Hulk issue, that would have been completely fine. If I was reading this in real time, I would never remember any of that stuff. Never. So all I'm saying is you guys can thank us later for this episode so you don't ever have to read this.
Yeah, I think I agree with you. I want to give this a 1.
Yeah. I don't even have any. I'm just going to.
This story makes me sad.
Yeah. I think we should just go straight to we're just gonna go straight to give me some sugar this week.
Give me some sugar.
So,
Got any shout outs, any sugar to give out this week?
of course, I want to give some sugar to my girl Danny. Give some sugar to my co-hosts from Memories Not Guaranteed. Shout out to Kyle and Juan and Monica. Who else? Yeah, I think that's what I got. Shout out to... Yeah, that's it. I was going to shout out myself, and I was like, who cares?
Nah. I got the same. Got the same as always. Zara, Ferial, Grandma, and... in real time, this is Greg's birthday.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Greg. You're never going to listen to this.
You'll never know.
Never know that we said this, but I did text him, so that's all right. Vanessa's birthday was 2 days ago. And Grandma's birthday
It's coming up.
is coming up. But by the time this episode has come out, it's already passed.
Hope you had a good birthday.
Yeah. So everybody, I'm sure you can find our grandma somewhere on Instagram. So go give her those belated happy birthdays, please.
And also, again, I know this episode came out like weeks ago, but if you haven't seen the Eternals already, and it's been a month,
It helps.
go
It helps.
go listen to our episode about it, and then go watch the movie.
Go do it. It helps. I promise you it helps.
Yes.
Yes. This is not Shang-Chi. We helped. You're welcome.
I think about that episode and think, what could we have done different?
I don't know. But I'm sick of this Hulk thing got me pissed off, so I'm done.
I think the Hulk is the new Namor for me.
I think so. These early Hulk?
Yeah.
Yeah, I hope that he doesn't show up in anything else that we read for a while.
But he will.
I know he will. All right, guys. That's another one down, just like always. We will be back next week with the No Way Home special.
Yeah.
And who knows how that's going to turn out.
Because we don't.
We'll see you next week. Bye.
Bye.